Hey everybody, and welcome back to another speed build. Today I'm going to build what I'm calling the cobblestone village. So I put a post up on Facebook asking my followers what they would like to see next, and searching for some ideas. You know how sometimes you just get a bit of builder's block. So I put the question out there, and someone responded and said, what about a marketplace to fit in with the new cottage living pack that's coming out soon? Which I thought was a really good idea. So thank you, Hannah, for the inspiration for this build. I was going to start with a small little marketplace with maybe a couple of fruit stalls and, things like that. But it very quickly turned into a monster build, just like all of mine seem to do. It must just be my thing at the moment. I certainly don't mean to do it, but I always build on the bigger lots, knowing full well that my small build will inevitably become huge. So in the end, I ended up with an entire village, hence Cobblestone Village. And I wanted a cute little courtyard area. I did a little bit of research because I wanted it to be similar to like an English village on a canal. So I went on Google, had a little look around at some photos, and got a few ideas. And I'm really excited to share this one with you guys. I'm actually quite impressed with how it came out. It was very fiddly work, some of it, and true to form, I don't really have a great idea of where I'm going when I start building. Like, I have the basic concept, I knew I wanted to do like a marketplace type thing. I knew I wanted the big clock in the corner there, but that's as far as my thought process went before I started building. The rest of it just kind of happens as it happens. One thing leads to another. So you can see here that I'm starting to do some of the roofing. That was a bit of a nightmare to try and get it all to work. I wanted the pointy little bits. I just felt like that was something that you would see in a little, country village. And trying to get it all the right height so it would match up was a bit fiddly. Although I was like yesterday years old when I learnt that if you hold the Shift and C button when you're doing the roofing, it actually gives you more options and you can alter the roof in different ways. So there you go, hot tip for today. You can see that I'm adding and moving things a lot. I'm very all over the place when I build, so I apologize for that. The screen's going 100 miles an hour, but that's kind of how I build. It's like my brain moves faster than my clicking, so I'm always thinking like a couple of steps ahead, and my computer is like, wait, we're not finished with this bit yet. But yeah, overall, I really love how this build turned out. And it was a lot of fun doing it. The landscaping took forever, as you'll see shortly. But yeah, I love it, and I hope you guys do too. You can leave me a comment below to let me know how you feel about this build. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you want to see more. If you do like this build and you want to download it, you can from the gallery. I will put my ID in the description box below, but it's DeeK 1818 and it will be listed as Cobblestone Village. I also just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has been following, liking, subscribing, and supporting. I really do appreciate it. I am at over 500 followers now on Facebook. So thank you so much. For the longest time, I wanted to start a channel, but I didn't think I was good enough. So I put it off and I put it off. So having you guys show your support by following me and leaving me comments on my videos gives me that reassurance that what I'm doing has some value and some merit. So once again, thank you very, very much. I am very grateful for your support. Alrighty, so let's get back to the building. As you can see here, I'm starting to apply some paints. I decided in the end to go with the cobblestone look with the brown finishing on some of the buildings just to break it up a little bit. And I thought it went well with the roof colour as well. I don't know, I feel like little cottages, little villages need to be stone. Just gives it, I don't know, that country vibe, I guess. Oh, my clock tower. I am actually so impressed with how it turned out. I think it looks super cute and definitely something you would see in like a small country town in the village square. I was actually really, really happy with it. I still am. I'm very chipper about it. Love the clock. It's almost like a mini Big Ben. Well, I think so anyway. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You're probably a better judge than me, especially if you're from a small country village. But yeah, now I'm just adding all the windows. You can see that there are so many windows, way too many. I struggled with this back bit here. It just wouldn't line up the way that I wanted it to. I spent far too long on it. Um, and I had to add those little extra bits just to make it a little less boxy. I felt like it just needed to stick out a little bit more. I don't know about you guys, but I always find that when I start a new build, it's so boxy to begin with. And as I go through the build, it starts to take more shape, like I fiddle about with it all. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm a little bit all over the place, like I said earlier, when I build. Like I'll sort of start somewhere and work on that little bit, and then I'll get an idea and I go, oh, so I've got to jump over there and fix that up. So exactly what I'm doing now. One minute I'm over at the river fixing that, and the next minute I'm back in the square putting a garden in. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's chaos. But it's organized chaos. At least that's what I'm going to keep telling myself anyway. So I decided around the side or around the back here to make just like a little cottage so that, like, I don't know, someone could live there or rest there, or if you decided to use this as a restaurant or a business that your sim owns, they have somewhere that they can sort of live while they're managing their business. I know it's a bit of a pain when you're running a business. You've always got to go home to fill up the needs, and whenever you're at home, you can't have the business open. So I don't know, I just thought it was a good little addition. And here I'm just adding in some details, some greenery. There was a lot of detail in this build. I spent a lot of time in the debug menu adding in just little bits and pieces, which again is probably why I'm so all over the place, because I'll just filter through the debug menu and go, oh yes, I like that, pull it out, put it somewhere. My ideas sort of come as I move through the build and look through the items in the debug menu. That's kind of where my ideas and my inspiration come from. It's not like I go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to do this with that object. It's the other way around for me. I see the object and go, oh yeah, I might use that. That'd look good here. Oh, the terrain, the plants. So many plants. Oh, I think it turned out really well though. Like it's nice, it's colourful, it's vibrant. And what you can see me doing here is just using debug rocks and sizing them up and raising them up from the bottom level, just so that they're sticking out. I think it's good to hide. Well, I like to hide the bits of terrain that won't take the paint or that the plants just sit funny on. And being a town on a canal or a river, I think the rocks fitted in perfectly. Now I'm just working on the landscaping, trying to blend it into the surroundings as best as I could. Like I said, it was rather fiddly and took a lot of work. Just all the little details. Oh yeah, again with the debug items. Sorry, not sorry. I really like the debug items. I think they give a build character. But obviously this build did take a lot of time. So originally I was going to show you guys the whole build, including the interior, but I mean, that would have been like nearly an hour. video, which isn't ideal. So I did decide in the end just to show you the exterior, but don't worry, because at the end of the video you will be able to see some photos of the interior and each of the individual buildings that end up housed in this village. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am super excited for cottage living to come out, and I will probably end up revamping this build when we get that pack and including some of the cool things that we're going to be getting very soon. So this is all in preparation for country living. I think I've got the country vibe going on here, but you know, if you have any suggestions, I am more than happy to take them on board. I always like some feedback on my builds. I'm always looking to improve. So yeah, if you feel like there's something that I could have done a little bit better or a little differently, or something that you would add or take away, maybe just drop it in the comments below and I'll take that feedback on board. So at this point, most of the exterior is pretty much complete, and as you can see, I'm working my way through that debug menu and placing stuff around just to give it that more realistic vibe, I guess. But yeah, I apologize for the constant moving on the camera. I know there's other builders out there who can start in one spot and they just stay there and do the whole lot, and then they move to a next spot. But unfortunately, my brain doesn't work like that. I just go where I go. So yes, I'm sorry if you're getting dizzy watching this, but I promise it's well worth it in the end. And I will try and keep the camera from moving around so much next time I post a speed build. That'll be my mission. The thing that I want to improve on for next time will be keeping the camera a bit more steady. Oh goodness. So it's definitely taking its shape now, and with all the debug objects that I'm putting into the build, it's giving it a more realistic feel. Yes, I decided to add a cemetery down the bottom there. I didn't really know what to do with that tiny little space, but there was already so much landscaping going on that I thought it just needed something other than plants. So yeah, I decided to just include a little cemetery down the back. I mean, I don't know if little country villages all have a cemetery with them, but I don't know. I just felt like it would fit in really well. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I watch too much TV. It's just something that I thought all little country towns have. So whilst I was building this cemetery, I thought it looked a little barren, like there wasn't enough tombstones in there, and the selection that we have isn't all that large. But then I thought, well, hang on a second, like this is going to be used in gameplay and Sims die, so you know, there's room to add your dearly departed Sims. And I think it was around this point while I was building that my game sort of froze for a second, and I had a slight panic attack because it had been so long since I'd saved, and I was genuinely ready to throw my computer out the window had it have glitched out and not saved. But now I'm working on the garden, so crisis averted, and still so much landscaping. So many plants. But I added in some of the debug trees, so as the game progresses, those plants will start to pop up. I thought that was a nice little addition, you know, a bit of a surprise there for the gardening Sims. So this is the little market area that this original idea started with. Just the little market section that turned into the ginormous village. But I think overall, I'm happier with how this has come together. Like, it definitely turned out better than what I had originally planned in my head. And considering that this build didn't all happen at once, I had the 2 tiny humans to care for in between. I'm just impressed with how it's come together, because sometimes, you know, when you start a build and then you have to stop for a little while, you kind of lose the flow of the build and it just doesn't come as easily. So yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with that aspect. So we are coming towards the end of the build, the exterior at least. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm just finishing off some of the plants around the outside of the pool there to try and hide that edging and make it look just that little bit more natural. And of course, adding all the colourful plants just to break it up a little bit. Of course, adding some small minor touches. You can't have a village without bins. Filthy Sims will leave all their rubbish everywhere and ruin the nice, serene look. Can't have that. So again, I just want to remind you that you can download this build from the gallery, and it has been play tested as well. So it is fully functional, and you can see now that I'm just adding in some lights. I actually didn't know that the debug lights worked. I thought that they were just for decoration, but there you go. Debug lights are fully functional, it seems. Another reason why I love the debug items. I reckon this is probably one of my proudest moments. I was like, I need a bell for this tower. It's supposed to be a bell tower. What the heck can I use as a bell? And then I found that debug object and I was like, yes, perfect. Now this garden bed, it was going to be the death of me. I really just had no idea what to do with that outside bit, because when I play tested it, those fences are debug objects, so the Sims just walk straight through them. I was like, no, I don't want you to walk straight through them. Go and use the gate. So in the end, I decided to put more garden around it to try and deter them from just walking through the fence. And it seems to have worked. So all that was left to do was complete the garden bed. And yeah, that's my speed build of the cobblestone village. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, maybe learn a few tips along the way. Leave me some comments below, let me know what you think, and if you have anything that you'd like to see next time, please let me know, because I'm always up for a challenge and to improve my skills in building. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, and also click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. You can also check me out on my socials.